One of the major reasons that there's inaccurate billing today is that physicians are never told about or know anything about these complicated rules that apply to the assignment of codes.
They're not documenting some of the lab findings that they are in fact treating, but they're just documenting them by recording their lab values and not providing a diagnostic statement.
The doctors were diagnosing by symptoms only, so the coders were only coding symptoms and not accurate diagnoses.
It is a huge problem today as far as inaccurate, incomplete documentation.
Not too long ago, Medicare changed the way that they reimburse hospitals. And the changes required that hospitals be far more precise in their documentation of the patient's condition.
Our hospital specifically, we were having a problem with reimbursement, and we're not doing financially as well as we should have been.
A lot of our reimbursement is based on severity of illness and risk of mortality. So the more information, and we're not even quite sure what some of the diagnoses that will trigger or increase our severity, whether it could be somebody's BMI, whether it could be their age, whether their diabetes is well controlled or poorly controlled, or if they have a neuropathy from this. So there's all different kinds of things. So we're really getting thorough and particular, and we're trying to ask them to write everything down.
Hospitals are suffering from decreased reimbursements, from inadequate documentation. They're suffering from the effects of audits, and again, a lack of documentation to support those audits. We feel that Chartwise CDI can address those needs and help them recoup some of their lost revenues.
Not doing it properly results in loss of revenue, poor quality scores and performance measures, questions about the medical necessity of the care that's provided, and vulnerability to recovery audit contractors.
Why should the hospitals have to face all that risk when there's a clear solution?
The physicians are using perfectly good clinical terminology which does not result in the assignment or selection of a correct code. They cannot become coding experts.
It would be beneficial to have a program that actually depicted what was acceptable and when to query.
If we can get the chart nice and clean right up front, there is no need for that appeal on the other end.
Being a cardiologist myself, I knew the territory. It all starts with the clinical documentation, so that's where Chartwise starts. If you get it right in the beginning, you get it right in the end. The way reimbursement works, if the doctor didn't say it, it didn't happen. We went right to the medical professionals who deal with this on a daily basis.
There should be standards of practice that you ask the doctor the same criteria in order to get what your answer is.
Well, if the physician actually followed along with it, you'd get the correct DRGs.
Connecting the clinical medical terminology with the coding rules and coding terminology, which is quite different, physicians don't understand it and have never heard about it before.
We put together a unique knowledge-based expert system that helps the doctor enter the right diagnostic terms, streamlines the documentation process for the CDS, reduces audit risk by optimizing coding and DRG, maximizes reimbursement, and will ease transition to ICD-10. What's more, it gives the hospital metrics for better oversight. In short, it turns information into intelligence, integrates easily with minimum support, maximum security.
The Chartwise team is comprised of very talented engineers who are able to see the big picture. That gives them the ability to keep an eye on what the end goal is in the programming and how it will address the user needs, while making a really amazing product that is easy to use and technologically superior.
We want to make it extremely easy to use, intuitive, and get to your DRG reimbursement as quick as possible.
The time that we can spend just going in the application and using it as a user would that isn't educated on the application as much as we are, will bring out those problems to eliminate them having those problems.
All the client needs is a web browser and an internet connection, and they can connect up to the application.
Ease of use. One of the things that we want to do is that we want to understand how our customers work, so we can tailor the tools that we create to them versus making a tool and having them adapt to the way we think they work.
They're able to do their job in a better way, they're able to do their job more efficiently, and that's going to be an advantage to the hospital in terms of what their return on investment will be.
Medicare is a significant portion of most hospitals' revenue, and the better you can anticipate those numbers, and the better planning and decision making you'll have. The tools that we've provided will achieve that maximum reimbursement.
Just a better, sounder system that goes out the door.
What we're building here at Chartwise is an expert system that we can grow into the future and help design future products.
The Chartwise CDI program presents a benefit in that it seems to be a true interactive process between the clinical documentation specialist and the physician.
I like that the Chartwise system uses the physicians very actively in the whole clinical documentation program.
For me specifically, I feel that Chartwise, as a new CDS, is going to really prompt me to look at what I should be querying a doctor for, to possibly rise the severity of illness, risk of mortality, which will, in the end, help to increase the amount of reimbursements that we would get.
There's no chasing the doctor. It's right there. We can retrieve it.
Chartwise is sort of visionary in that they're trying to pull together the physician part of it along with the CDS, and that there's an interactive role.
You can't imagine how critical that is to the success of a CDI program. There is simply nothing else like it on the market.
Really, this was a little selfish on my part. I wanted more time with my patients and less time with paperwork. Chartwise CDI gives me that.